This is a pregame show, and we're going to talk with Allegri's pre-match press conference. So, credits to the good old Juventus Twitter. That's why I love using these guys, because they actually have the thing translated. So, talking in the comments here about Cremonese. So, Allegri is saying Cremonese have done well in the second half of the season. Ballardini has gotten some good results. They don't give much away, and they're dangerous to counter. So, you have to go out there and earn every win. And then he's following up with saying we're doing a good job with the youngsters, because this was a question about the next gen. But we must carry on with nurturing their development. Being second is no easy achievement with everything that went on. Now we must finish the season as well as we can. And then Allegri saying Perin will start tomorrow. Bremer is fit and well. Rabiot will be available too. We're not thinking about Thursday. We have to beat Cremonese. That was an interesting comment that he mentioned. I think that's quite interesting. Then he says Pogba's condition is improving. He knows he needs a lot of games to get back to his best, but the main thing is being available, even if it's just for one half or 30 minutes. Just teasing. He's teasing something.
And he's teasing my heart.
I know. And then Allegri says morale is higher after Gatti's goal, as it means that we have everything to play for on Thursday, which again is true. It's difficult, but it's true. We have our own job in Serie A. We can't influence any external factors. And then Allegri is talking about in regards to Keane. Keane is in good shape. He's missed a few games, but he's a player I am counting on. And then in response to the situation that the club is currently in, he says the situation we're in energizes us. We've never complained, and we've kept focusing solely on the pitch. Thursday was an example of us turning difficulties into opportunities, which he's true. It is true. Because a lot of people, I'm pretty sure they were positive that game was done and dusted. And that was Fino alla fine at its best.
Exactly.
With the last kick of the game. Like you're saying, Bonucci, talking about Bonucci with 500 matches played with Juve. Bonucci is a smart guy. He's reached a historic milestone. I'm proud of him. And happy of all the years that we've worked together. He's already been ready to help and has deserved everything. Hopefully we'll have him back in the last few games. And then Juve says that wraps up their press conference. So, moving in, that was Tottenham news. Moving into the actual starting lineup that we see here. So I'm going to zoom in for you folks. So FOTMob clearly has been terrible this season when it comes to guessing the starting lineups. So we're going to have some fun here. So obviously, I think we know Szczesny's not starting. It's going to be Perin. And then we have, this was interesting. So I saw it on Sky Sport and Giovanni Albanese. The back line of Rugani, Gatti, and Danilo, which is
weird. I wanted that to be the starter against Sevilla.
Yeah. So guys, we get to see Walgani at his finest. That is going to be on a t-shirt if Rugani keeps doing his consistent form. Illing Jr. starting in on the left flank with a midfield of Miretti, Paredes, and Fagioli, which I thought was interesting.
It's too weak physically for Cremonese.
Yeah, that one.
Now people will come and hunt me like, what, techies and stuff. No, man, no. This is football, not techies. You see the midfield of theirs. It would be Mate and Pickle, maybe, if you've seen him. Something. His name is Pickle. He's Belgian, I think. Anyway, both are very physical and sort of technical players, but mainly physical. So both Fagioli and Miretti are gonna be jostled out of position. We need somebody physical in there. If you're gonna play Paredes, I'm okay, because Barrenechea, I get using Barrenechea, but he's not a good player. Let's be honest. He is not a Juve caliber player. Sad to say, honestly. But so you put Paredes and Locatelli, in my opinion, and choose one of Fagioli, Miretti.
Alrighty, and then I think it's more so he's rotating as well, so I think that's why it looks a little bit of a weird lineup. But the interesting thing that we're seeing on the right wing back position, I don't know how true this is, but it's projected that Barberi will be starting.
Yeah, it is. Giovanni Albanese said it just yesterday. Yesterday's Friday for me. So Friday night he said both Barbieri and Illing have a lot of chance of playing from the first minute. Defense, Rugani, as you said, and Danilo and Gatti, as you said. Perin in goal. Just most like between Milik and Chiesa, I think, are going to start, not Keane.
So the one thing I kind of want to, since we're talking about defenders here, real quick, because I want to address a comment that some people have made in regards to Alexandro and Davis saying, "Hey guys, how are you? Hey, our German Dave." Um, I kind of wanted to comment on, guys. You realize that Gatti plays right center back and Alexandro plays left center back, right? And Danilo's technically the starting right center back when we have everybody healthy, because Bremer is the center back. So Allegri is not benching Gatti. I kind of want to make that perfectly clear, because it's kind of difficult to play Sandro or Gatti in Sandro's position as a left center back, because that's not Gatti's preferred area. So I thought it was interesting where a lot of people are like, "How are you benching Gatti? Gatti's been on fire. It makes no sense." Well, Danilo's been covering Alexandro's spot, and Gatti's been covering Danilo's spot, and Allegri's going to put Danilo over Gatti every single time. It's
You
yeah.
know why Allegri started benching what's his name?
Gatti.
Gatti? Since which game?
I want to say it was. There's one where it
Because
was just a disaster. It was almost a goal that they scored. I think it was Bologna.
no, it's after Napoli. You know why? Because from Napoli, before there was Freiburg. He's making two crucial, not technical mistakes like Sandro does. Okay, Sandro and Danilo were doing technical mistakes. He was doing moronic mistake, which was punching Kvara and kicking person on the neck in that sporting game, if you remember.
Yeah,
As soon
that's
as he
right.
came on, okay, one strike, two strike, be on the bench, and get cool off. Okay, because if he does one more time and something like that, he gets a red card. There's no messing with it, and the whole game is screwed. He is teaching, he's nurturing him basically, like, boy, I know you're like a ball of lightning, just control your emotions, don't punch or kick people, okay, because we need you, because he has technical qualities that we need.
Yes, he does. He's one of the few defenders that isn't afraid to take a dribble and beat someone one on one. But yeah, again, and it's like that as well. But then also you look at it from a positional standpoint, because, like, for example, at the beginning of the year when Allegri played Gatti as the left center back, Gatti absolutely got torched. He was
It was so
getting
bad.
cooked. It was not good. And the thing is and where Gatti really found his spot is that right center back role. But again, I want to illustrate this and make this perfectly clear. Gatti will not take over if everyone is healthy. So if Bremer is healthy, if Sandro is healthy, Gatti cannot take over Danilo for the starting job unless Danilo is
What
injured.
I would do, honestly, even though it will harm a bit Danilo, put Danilo on the left, put Gatti on the right. As we were doing in the last part where we're getting in March, I think, when Alexandra was injured, and we were playing well because Gatti was on the right, Danilo on the left, covering, and Bremer in the center of the pitch. If
Mm-hmm.
Bremer is injured, put Volgani in the middle, Gatti on the right, Sandro. Don't put Sandro, okay? Sandro, as much as Bonucci is like, geriatric patient, he is a Brazilian geriatric patient, and he's not even hitting 33 yet. Like, how many times did you see him slip against Sevilla? Did you count?
Numerous
Like,
times.
yeah, he was like Bambi on skates, but not just Bambi. He is like the geriatric Bambi. Like, he has the wheeler on top, but he's skating at the same time, so it's flopping.
Mm-hmm. No, and I'm with you 100%, and that's why again I was really frustrated where we started that entire back line, because, like, for me, a lot of people don't understand this, but there is so much off the ball movement that Danilo does to cover, to fill in gaps, to fill in spaces. Like, for example, there are so many times that Danilo would cover Quadrado defensively or cover Kostic defensively that goes extremely unnoticed when it comes to positioning and ball movement. So for me, unless he is injured or hurt, I don't see Danilo ever not playing a game, especially with Allegri. And, a lot of people
Especially with the
can
situation we
exactly.
have.
And the thing is, and I always get irritated when someone says that Danilo is a Real Madrid reject or a Manchester City reject. Do you realize, like, for example, say that, we drop Vlahovic and send him to Bayern Munich or whatever, are Bayern
He's a
Munich
Juve
fans,
reject.
yeah, as a Juve reject? Because I think that to me was probably hands down one of the most softest comments I've ever heard in regards to his renewal. But
So respectfully, it's retarded what
it
somebody says it.
is, yeah, it is, because that's the thing. That's what makes great coaches. Great coaches can take players that were not doing well in another system and reinvigorate their career. Coaches have done that all the time.
Andrea Barzagli, is he a Wolfsburg reject back then when we got him for 500K?
That's true. It's true.
What nonsense are you spewing, my man? If you're gonna talk like that, what utter nonsense!
It is the beauty of it. But the one thing I'm kind of happy to see though about this lineup is I'm very curious to see how a young left wing back and our young right wing back are going to do. The one player that kind of gives me heartburn on Cremonese's team is going to be Carnesecchi as their goalkeeper, because the last time we played them, holy smokes, man, it took a hell of a free kick by Milik at the end of the game to get that point against Cremonese. So I think Carnesecchi has been an absolute outstanding goalkeeper for them. Unfortunately, he actually has an assist, which is interesting. But overall, recent performances 8.5, 8.5, very good. So he's coming in on form. And again, these guys aren't really doing too well table wise.
No, they're playing better. They have been playing really, really better right now.
Yeah.
Look at their form.
Right now, there you have, besides their recent loss there with Udinese, but they've beaten Empoli. They have drawn against Hellas Verona. They have drawn against Milan, which was huge for them. And then they also beat Spezia 2-0. So they're trying to give themselves a little bit of elbow room to try to compete to get out of relegation. They need to win desperately, so they're going to be coming at us with everything to try to
Can you put out their lineup?
Yeah.
So that I tell you who I fear personally. Sir Nicola as the right back. He's a very attack-minded right wing back that overlaps, underlaps, and doesn't stop running. And it is Okereke at the front line. Ciofani is very stale. Like, he is Fernando Llorente, if you remember, but when he was at Napoli, when he was already finished. Okay, that's Ciofani. But Okereke is very mobile, very agile striker that acts like a 9.5, like between a 9 and a 10. So we have to keep very close eye on him.
Okereke gave us trouble in the first leg.
Exactly. Really Okereke and the guy from Roma, Felix Gian. He hit the woodwork, if you remember.
Yep, that's correct as well. And going in with our good friend David here. David saying Danilo is always the last guy in our back line, saving us by mistakes, and Sandro and our wingbacks always sliding tackles in at the last second. I'm telling you, I think we're the only YouTube channel outside of Giuseppe that can sit here and constantly talk about the things that Danilo does and contributes instead of whining about him getting renewed.
No. Honestly, there is only one YouTube channel that whines. All others are praising him, to be honest. Only one doesn't understand football. Let's be honest.
I totally agree with you there, buddy.
Yeah.
But looking at the previous match history with us and them, we haven't really played outside of this one time. The one time, which was that 1-0 win with a Milik goal. But overall, form-wise, kind of similar. Kind of similar form-wise, but...